Well, hello and welcome to another episode on Fixing Nigeria. My name is Anu Ojo and I'm your host in this program. It's always a wonderful opportunity to be on your screens every Friday on Fixing Nigeria. To everyone watching us all over the world, thank you for joining us in today's episode. I would like to encourage you to share this video to your friends. You can share it to your family members and share it to Nigerians, because this show is Fixing Nigeria. Fixing Nigeria. And that's exactly what we're doing. We are fixing Nigeria. And we understand that we can't fix Nigeria without fixing Nigerians. So the question will be, how do we fix Nigerians? Of course, we've come to realize that the only way we can fix the nation is by fixing the people who live in that nation. And by fixing Nigerians, we're talking about fixing the Nigerian mindset. We're talking about fixing the broken value system of our people and in our nation. And that's exactly the core of fixing Nigeria. We are highlighting the wrong value system. We are highlighting the vices that are present in our nation, and we are preferring the right values that shouldn't just fix Nigerians, but should replace the current wrong value system and the current vice that is predominant in our nation. So you're welcome if you're Nigerian, and I would like to encourage you to share this video to all of your Nigerian friends, those who are in diaspora, and even those who are back home in Nigeria. And if you're not Nigerian, don't be bothered and don't be worried, because the discussion we are having today, and we've been having even in previous weeks and in future episodes, will be relevant to you in your nation and how you can build your nation on values. One of Dr. Sunday's quotes is that nations are not great by the virtue of their wealth, but nations are great by the wealth of their virtues. So what that means is, any great nation you see today, it is because of their virtues and not because of the natural resources or any of that sort. So we're working hard. We're doing all that we can to make Nigeria a prototype of a virtuous nation and to make Nigerians virtuous people. So you're welcome on board to today's episode. I guess there's some of you who might have missed the last week's episode. We had an interesting discussion talking about one of the predominant vice in Nigeria, and that is the party culture and the money spraying custom that is in Nigeria. We have a short video to just give you an excerpt of last week's episode. If you would like to watch the full episode, you can do that by going to Dr. Sunday's YouTube channel, which is Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Search for the Fixing Nigeria playlist, and you would see all of our previous episodes in that playlist. So right now, we would watch the previously on Fixing Nigeria to have a glimpse on last week's episode. Stay tuned.
Preview.
First of all, we have to say that to have party is legitimate. It is normal. It is human. We cannot just have a life of all works and no fun. So to have fun and to be able to relax and celebrate and party sometimes is necessary. Sometimes it's necessary for people to be able to chill out of their work schedules. But in our own case, it has become a national issue and a national concern, especially the issue of spraying money, and because that is spreading a culture and a value system. So what do you call that kind of value system? That value system is frivolity. Is a trivial lifestyle. It's a trivial lifestyle to be spread, to be, okay, for example, if you are behaving like that, if you are spreading money and spraying money the way they are doing and just doing parties like this, you come to a situation whereby right now Africa is one of the lowest countries in savings. We have countries that's like, I think I have the statistics somewhere. I think the countries with the highest number of savings, a low percentage of savings, is Japan, China, those Asian countries, then the Arabs, then but out of the whole list, the black people are the lowest. We are just about 7% that we save in a month, whereby the Asians save 30-something% of their income a month. So when you don't have savings, then it means that you don't have development, because there is nothing to invest, nothing to take you forward. So that culture that we're having of, just spraying money, partying culture, spraying money, is detrimental on the long run. On the long run, it's not beneficial, because then there will be no industries, there will be no employment, there will be no infrastructural development, there will be no progress, there will just be regression. And this is exactly what some Europeans saw among some of our black people when they came to Africa. There is a book that Lord Lugard wrote, and in that book, he gave a very, very candid characteristics about black people, and Nigerians in particular. When you read those characteristics and the remark of Lord Lugard about us, it's so sad that it's like we remain the same today. It's like we have not changed. And it's like nobody has really taken that up as a challenge to change us. First, because the fundamental question about lawlessness in the country and lack of respect for the rule of law is because there is no respect for truth. There is no absolutism of the truth, and when the truth is not the authority, anything becomes authority. When either the truth is going to become the absolute authority, when there must be a starting point. When there is the mindset that there is something that is absolute, there is the absolute truth somewhere, and that is the ultimate authority, then you know that if the law is the truth. And if the law has said this, is the absolute authority. Nobody is higher than the law. So everybody is equal before the law. Nobody is higher than the law. So the truth or the law is higher than everybody, and everybody must submit to it. So since there is no awareness, like in that thing that Lord Lugard said, that there is no sense of veracity. We don't have any love for veracity. We don't have any form of veracity. So we don't have any inclination to truth. We don't have any love for truth or any desire for truth. Even the awareness of truth is not an everyday reality for us. Our culture and our people have not been educated in the supremacy of the truth. For a society to change, one of the things that has to change is for the whole society, both the governors and the governees, all of them have to first of all come to the realization that, okay, this whole society is functioning, we all agree, by the supremacy of one standard. This is where we are all starting from. That is the foundation. The foundation of everything should be the truth, the supremacy of the truth, the authority of the truth. So everybody must first of all sign in to the authority of the truth and the supremacy of that truth. Once everybody condones to that the truth is the ultimate authority over everybody, every position, every politician, every businessman, every rich person, everybody bows before the truth. When we know that, okay, so what is going to be the truth in our society? The truth will be the law, the constitution. So everybody will then bow before that truth. Once that is established in the mind and psyche of everybody, subconscious mind of everyone, only then we could build a society. Without establishing the authority of truth and the rule of law, you cannot build a society. So we don't have society, human society yet.
Wow. If you missed last week's episode, I'd like to encourage you personally that do all you can, especially if you're a Nigerian or if you're African, do all that you can to listen to last week's episode. Dr. Sunday, we and myself, we analyzed what Lord Lugard observed about Nigerians far back, I think, over 100 years. And factually speaking, all his description of Nigerians and our character traits and everything, it is still the same today, meaning all of those character flaws have not changed, we've not evolved, we've not grown, we've not metamorphosed into better human beings, for lack of better words. So, to civilized people, yeah. So, do all that you can, please, to watch that video, all right? That would be fantastic. And of course, I'm sure you know that I'm not alone here. I'm with Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Dr. Sunday, good evening.
Bless you.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome to today's episode.
Thank you.
I was sharing with the viewers that they must do all they can to watch last week's episode because, when you were able to see the picture that Lord Lugard painted about Nigeria and Nigerians, it should move you to wanting to change the narrative because that is not just some 10 years ago, some 20 years ago. That's way back. So, like you said, we've not really gone far from this description.
The same thing you said that they must wash also the one before.
Well, that's how we did.
About the moon time.
The moon time, about African time. Yes. As a matter of fact, the Fixing Nigerian playlist must be watched by every every Nigerian because everything we've been discussing right from the beginning.
But right? I know some people from South Africa who are South Africans.
Yes.
Who are saying the thing you are discussing here is for South Africa too.
Well, I guess it's an African thing. I think there are a lot of similarities between the African nations because, of course, we are all Africans. Of course, there might be some minor differences, but I think on a general scale, there are a lot of things that are similar between the nations in Africa. So I'm sure they can relate. And I'm sure even some Ghanaians can also relate to what we're saying here about Nigerians. And let's just cut across all the African nations. But today, Dr. Sunday, we're going to be discussing on something that Nigerians really are passionate about. This is so close to the heart of every Nigerian. As a matter of fact, we can say the subject of today is synonymous to how Nigerians, maybe should I say, describe themselves or what Nigerians view themselves. Yeah. So we're talking about entertainment today, and the title for today's discussion is why the entertainment craze in Nigeria is doing more harm than good. I have some videos, I would like to share.
And I was just remembering different videos right now because when you were talking, I just got a video from somebody about a marriage that was taking place in Nigeria. We actually among Nigerians in the UK. So, and it's a 5 minutes clip.
Yeah.
So you see different, and you see the engagement. Everything was so dull and serious. You see the church. The church was the dullest. People were almost, it was like the bride and everything was sleeping, and the groom. They were just sitting down like this, as if they were dumb and dumb, deaf and dumb. Then something started. They took it to what do you call it? Is it after the entertainment?
No, they call it
entertainment. Yeah, is it reception?
Reception, yeah, that's what.
So then when they go to the reception,
everybody came alive.
If you see what was happening, the prince, what they call the bride was coming. You know, all the girls, braids, all of them were dancing. I mean, as if this is what everybody has been waiting for. Yeah. Then the bridegroom, they were as if this is before, as if they were injected with sleeping injection, and as if nothing was happening, as if they were so dull, as if they are different people. So I began to notice that it is like life for Nigerians right now is when they have to dance or when they have to do something funny. It's if when they lose their mind, when they need to think, they have lost. It's boring, of course. But when it's time to dance and to put some performance, something, they come alive. And that is how I began to notice that all the weddings, all the celebrations, even burial, even with burial, somebody died. It is the dancing and the entertainment and the something, that is what they like, the performance, as if that is life for them. So it means we have identified the animalistic nature to become our self-identity. Exactly. We have identified ourselves with the animalistic, instinctive nature of man. Yes. You know, so this instinct, the reflexes that are not peculiar to humans, that are more peculiar to animals or to the lower humans. That is what we have now, embraced, and we have personalized them, and we have, we are now identifying with them as if that is our identity and who we are. Yes. But really, that is supposed to be the opposite. It is when it comes to thinking, innovation, invention, when it comes to reasoning, when it comes to creativity, those are the things that identify a man, a human being. A Homo sapiens is supposed to be identified and defined not by how it could respond to stimuli. But what we have done right now is that we have made ourselves to be dependent on stimuli, and our responses to stimuli, we have now made that to become our true identity. Yes. So without stimulus, we are not human. We don't come alive. Without a stimulus, we can't function. Yes. Life is boring to us. Yes. So that's what I just noticed, that when it is even in church, when it is praise and worship time, everybody is jumping and gyrating and everything. But when it comes to thinking or functioning, we're just docile. We are off. Everything is just, but we are not. We are in trouble. Yeah. We have identified animalistic criteria, and we have identified animalistic attitude to become human attitude. That is number one problem. Number two problem is we have now embodied that and called that who we are. Yes. That is catastrophic. We have made ourselves and branded ourselves as biomasses. We have defined ourselves as biological masses only, not as thinking human, not as Homo sapiens. Whereas a human is only human when he thinks. A person is only human when he reasons. It is the reasoning part of the man that makes him human being. It is not the gyrating. It's not the movement of the body. It is not the emotions. It is not the instinct. It is not the reflexes. It is not the stimuli that makes us to determine us to make us to be human. Anybody can do that. Any dog can do that. Any monkey can do that. Any cat can do that, and that is catastrophic. Because that is why entertainment has been promoted to become the cornerstone of our society. Exactly. Everybody wants to sing. Exactly. Everybody wants to dance. Everybody wants to do things that that are just cheap and surface. And even people are supposed to be right thinking people, they are all waiting for a moment of reflexes and of instincts. And that is what has devoured us of functioning as total human. So you will see that productivity will be low. You will see that invention will be low.
Yeah.
You will see that development will be low. You will see that technological growth will be low.
Yeah.
You will see that industrialization will be low. You will see that anything that is called progress and civilization will be lacking behind, because we didn't push forward the reasoning senses, analytical mind, critical thinking, and innovative thinking, strategic thinking. We are not pushing those forward. We are not celebrating those. We are not putting those as our strength. We are not developing those, so we cannot compete with the world.
Of course.
I don't know if you are getting what I'm
Yes,
saying.
sir. Yes, sir. And that's really the tragedy of the day, and that's really what we want to address today. Because this, that when I started the introduction, I started by saying that we've identified with this. Of course, entertainment is everywhere in the world. If you come to Ukraine, of course there's entertainment.
There are people who have labeled us in Ukraine here. They are nationalists, and in Europe in general, even historically, what Europeans used to label Africans as people. The only thing that they have is emotions, that they don't have brain, intellect. So they used to sell us and captivate Africans, sell Africans. The reason why they were selling Africans into slavery is because they had an argument that we don't see characteristics of human beings in them, that we don't see that they are human. They are subhuman. Why do they say we are subhuman? Because they said everything we see with them that they do is a manifestation of the flesh. It's a manifestation of instinct. They sleep about, give birth to children. They dance during the day. They eat and just have fun. That is all they do in Africa. They eat. They run about in the bush to kill something to eat, just like lions will do, tiger will do. Hunt for what to eat, and survival instinct. The instinct to survive, the instinct to reproduce, and that's what they see.
And those are all animalistic.
And those are animalistic instincts. Yes. The instinct to eat, to survive, the instinct to reproduce, the instinct to just have fun, to play around. Yeah. So they said these people cannot probably be humans. And that is the reason they gave. I don't support them. Yeah. And I don't say they are right. Yeah. But those are the reasons they gave for slave trade. So now we ourselves are labeling ourselves. It's one thing for us to be labeled like this by outsiders. But when we ourselves have come to a place whereby we are now identifying ourselves with those vices and calling them our identity, that is when you know that we don't have a people, we don't have a nation. Our people need to wake up. Their senses need to be awakened. They need to be civilized. They need to be adjusted. They need to be corrected. They need to be repaired. Their minds need to be repaired. They need to be taught of what makes a human human. What makes a personality a personality. I have a book there. Where is that my book? Where are the heroes?
Let the heroes arise.
Let the heroes arise. That's about personalities. We need to let our people know what it means to be a human being. Then I have another book. You have to show all the books that I'm going to mention today. And if you want to be human and you want to rise above your culture, you want to arise above your nation, you want to arise above the populace and above the socio-political area that you are growing up in, and you don't want to be labeled and be identified by vices and call it virtues, then you need to read this book. Number one, where are the heroes? Let heroes arise. Then look for another one, a man or a mouse. Then look for another one. I'm a person. Am I a personality? Then I think I still have another one like that. I'm a person. Am I a personality? A man or a mouse.
Yeah.
And
I think those three.
Those three, yeah?
Talk about personality.
Personality, let the heroes arise. Huh?
Yeah, I think those are then.
No. Yeah, the death of nations.
Okay, death of nations.
Death of nations, yes.
Maybe, and also how to build a civilized
and a civilized develop and civilized nation. So get all those books and let's see all of them. And then, of course, shallow-mindedness, this book that is here. Yeah. Read yourself of shallow-mindedness. And also insulted by ungodliness, the one that we also showed that I'm being insulted by this. And that's what Europeans saw in Africa, and they said, insulted, but we should be insulted. If you are not insulted, and who are the people that have been celebrated in our society today? Who are the prominent individuals? Who are the wealthy ones? The ones that are living shabby life. There's one they call Mali something. Mali.
Yeah, Naira Marley.
Naira Marley. It's catastrophic what the guy is doing. Then there's another one they just nominated for Oscar right now.
Burna Boy.
Burna Boy. And I thought it was, I said, for him to be nominated for Oscar, maybe he said, let me even see who the guy is. Until I saw what he was doing on the stage. It's rubbish. And I mean, how did I hear? Because Channel Television was saying, we have this Burna Boy. It's been wow. Even Christians, I saw Christians even writing about it. Nominated. Then I said, what is he doing there? It's rubbish. Is he not the one going to undress himself, trying to be like Fela things like that? Yeah. I mean, nonsense. And this nonsense are the things we are now using as national heroes. Wow, one of us have been nominated. But he's not the first one to be nominated. King Son, is it King you call him? Sonny Ade?
King Sonny Ade.
King Sonny Ade was nominated, but he didn't need to undress. He didn't need to do all the rubbish for him to be nominated. And he had been nominated 30 years ago before this one. So you don't need to do rubbish to become prominent. You don't need to become animalistic to be recognized.
With the benefit of hindsight, thank you for bringing King Sonny.
Even these other guys that are being celebrated, all these, P Square or Davido, Wizkid, all those things. They are doing their own thing. Let them do their own thing, but they shouldn't become the mainstream of the society. They have their own industry. Let them do their own craziness in their own industry. But when the whole country is identifying with them, I mean, see what Nigeria has done with that BB something, Big Niger or something.
I was going to talk about it. That Big Brother Niger.
Big Brother Niger. What is that? In fact, when I go to Nigeria, by the grace of God, you remind me. If I don't, I will close down that Big Niger. I will find a way to close it down. You wait. I bet you. I'm now talking right now because I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to do it. And I know how to do it.
You're going to wage war with Nigerians.
Yes.
Millions.
Because that is what Nigerians are now identifying with. Be Niger.
Yeah, BB.
They said about 90 million people voted. Yeah. Or is it 100 and something
over
million?
100 million people.
Over 100 million people voted in it. And you know how many people voted for Nigeria election? 27 million. 27 million is less than 30%. It's less than 20% of Nigeria.
Of course, it's like
15%.
15%.
Only 15% voted for president and governor, everybody together. Only 15% voted for senators. So only 15% is ruling the country. But for Niger, 50% is going to vote, or 70% of the adults people are voting. So it's craziness. We have turned ourselves to a nation of mouths. We need to wake up our people and turn ourselves back from mouses, from animals, from biomasses into human beings. And when I was talking about this, and I was saying church even is encouraging this. Church will go and bring people to laugh. What do you call them?
Comedians.
Church will go and bring some musicians and pay them just to go and play something to just make people, and they package everything through, whether it's musical or it's joke or it is something to just stimulate. Everything is based on stimulation.
Yeah.
And until you are stimulated, they don't have result. I was talking to another one in England the other day that why, they call it Spark Nation, and because of what they say, the pastor there was using an argument. Oh, I am using whatever he's using. Want some flashy cars and some money. He's getting money from everybody, flashing the money left, right, and center. He said because so that people will be attracted to that it is cool to be a Christian. So when they see the way we live and we wear the Rolex and something, people will now come. Why should you use worldly material things to attract people? The same thing is just the same thing like saying somebody now is saying I'm a pornography star.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you free sex. Let me give you free sex and make people and be attracting people to church because I'm giving them free sex.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. You are using vices to attract people to Christ. So you mean you are that thereby saying that God doesn't have power? If you are using comedy and amusement, music, all those things to attract people, it means God doesn't have power. So all the resources that God has in heaven and on earth, there is nothing God can use to attract people to himself. God's power has become powerless. God's wisdom has become powerless. God's understanding, wisdom, knowledge has become powerless. God's counsel has become powerless. The Holy Spirit has become powerless. So, but when we are more dependent on the things of the flesh like this, it shows who we are. Because when you are on the level, the animalistic level yourself, that's the only instrument you have to attract people to yourself. And that is the only thing you propagate. So when our church go to any of our television stations, it is music from morning till night.
Of course.
Go to any of our events, it is music. As if we have to be stimulated. It's the same thing as people who have to be stimulated by drugs. It's the same thing by people who have to be stimulated by alcohol. It is the same thing that people have to be stimulated by something from outside before you could wake up and function. So, because people might not understand the importance of this topic that you are talking about right now. People might say, what is bad about entertainment? Entertainment is okay, but the percentage of entertainment to real life functioning should be like 5%. 5%. The significance of entertainment in an economy or in real life should be 5%. So, anything that is taking more than 5% into entertainment, because in Nigeria now it's more than 50%.
Of course.
Entertainment's role in our life is more than 50%.
I won't say it's
90%.
80-90%.
80-90%, you see?
Yeah, that's what's the reality.
You know, we have lost it. Our people need to be brought back to their senses. Well, I'm sorry, I'm sure you have not given me what to talk. I think I just hijack your program. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think that was very important to at least to give people context to today's discussion, because we're talking about Nigerians, and entertainment to Nigerians is perceived as, oh, this is normal, this is ours. So I think it's you helping everyone and the viewers to understand how the entertainment craze in Nigeria is not just something that we should laugh about, but it is something that we must desperately and urgently challenge. We must literally wage war against it. But I want us to bring us back to an example that you raised of King Sunny Ade. Of course, I would say you belong to an older generation. And I just want to ask you, because of course things have changed over the years. Now I want you to tell us from your own time, where you were maybe in the 70s or in the 80s, and with what we have today in the entertainment industry, what significant change has happened, and where did we miss it? Was it that the people in your generation did not pass down these values? I mean, the people in the entertainment industry, or has it been like this over the years and things got worse?
Yeah, it has been like this over the years. Even during my own time, people were just animalistic about music. The reason why I talk about Sunny Ade and Ebenezer Obey, that those people gain international prominence.
Yes.
That Sunny Ade was even nominated to be as Oscar, as this guy that is just been nominated now, without exposing himself, without doing any crazy stuff. That's just what I mean.
Okay.
But the fact that everything, even during my own time, it is dancing. When you are young like this, they want to see how you can dance.
So
from childhood, they've always been. They don't orient you on how to think. Yeah. They don't orient you. If there is any party or any gathering, it is how you can dance. They want to let you show. It is, from childhood like this. They want to, even if you are shy and you don't want to go and dance, they will push you forward. Go and dance, go and perform, go and do something. So it is the whole society. When I was growing up, when there were people like Barrister, Colinton, Sunny Ade, Ebenezer Obey, other people like that. It was not overwhelmingly, captivating like it is right now. Yeah. But it is still on the local level. People still were subservient. I mean, is it subservient? What was the word I wanted to? Yeah, they were,
subdued.
Yeah. You are susceptible. They were susceptible to this kind of lifestyle too.
Uh-huh. So that means we've not, just like the analysis of Lugard, we've not moved far from.
No.
It's this. So what we're addressing, I asked this question because oftentimes people associate some of these vices with, okay, this is a 21st century thing, this is a millennial thing. So because of the millennial...
Before the millennia, even before all those high life musicians that I'm talking about, or Fuji, Juju, in Nigeria, it has always been the same thing. They used to have them with masquerades. You know, during even before civilization came, the masquerade, it was all the same thing: entertainment, masquerade, some secret societies, some ayo, some they just it's still the same thing.
It's been like that. Yeah. So we're addressing foundational things, and because so far I've come to that conclusion that a lot of things are wrong with our foundation. And just like the Bible said, I mean, if the foundation is faulty, I mean, what would the righteous do? And a lot of the things that are wrong in our nation today are all foundational issues and foundational errors or flaws in our character and our attitude, our worldview generally. One thing I want us to really discuss about today is especially talking about the entertainers and the musicians. We're going to watch a video right now. We will not play the whole video, but we'll just play some part of the video. I want us to talk about the obscene nature of the videos done by our musicians and why we can't afford to be silent about it, and we have to create a movement to actually address this. So I would like us to just watch that video. Well, this is just an example. Of course, if you check videos in Nigeria, most of the music videos, you see what we're talking about. So let's just have that video and just watch a part of it.
Falila que ton, falila que ton, falila que ton es más bata. Falila que ton, falila que ton, falila que ton es más bawi. Sketchy falila wolong kuni musaya o, musaya o, musaya. Sketchy falila wolong kuni musaya o, musaya o, musaya. Every single, I love him so, I like him so. I go Marian, I go Taspiran, I go Sampulan, I go, I want to romance, I want to busy, I want to debe, I want to market. I pull up in a Lambo, sorry they cabo, sorry they Snoop, I be like Alaji Sambo. They want to sample, they want to collabo. Up in the club with David Rushing a Rambo. Me I be streets, but the people know they feeling me. Life it is sweet, jadi no go killing me. Wo pussy cast, no ready, ya just killing me. All of my dogs that they wonder, is it really me? I mean they want to cash, oh, my told me let's crash, oh. You know beat me jato, no they copycat, oh. Don't care Jennifer, and they la badness. But boy these girls, they can never stop us. Go Gucci, go Versace, I be Prada. Up when you want me to shut up, parada. Why you know, Eddie my shake, Eddie my bend, Eddie.
All right. So why did I decide to play this video? I mean, just take a random musician in Nigeria without having ladies who are partially nude dancing, and then guys messing up with those ladies. It's as though they can't shoot a video. And we're not even talking about the obscene lyrics and the kind of message that they are passing through their music. What do you have to say concerning this present situation of musicians in Nigeria and the style of their music, the way, the obscene nature of their videos and their lyrics? That
I don't know. I don't even know them. I just got to hear about Peace Corps last year. I never even heard about them. The only one I heard about was the one that sang the African Queen.
Yeah, to face.
That one I heard about it 10 years ago because of that African Queen, because I was in the Caribbean. I heard it and they said it was from Nigeria. So otherwise, I don't know. I just don't know all these people.
But have you seen some of the videos?
I saw this video, yes, and I saw some videos from that Peace Corps. You know, but I don't. Otherwise, I don't have an idea. I saw that one video from Davido one time. So I don't really know them, but I know what you are talking about very well.
Okay.
Because this is from America. This is coming. This obscene video and obscene lyrics. This whole idea of sexualizing entertainment and sexualizing human beings and commercializing girls and things like that. This is all coming from America. But the people who have, you see, like now, we just had one guy nominated for Grammy, and we are making noise. We are so happy. The whole country is rejoicing. Look at this guy that just came to Christ now. Kanye West. This Kanye West has had that Grammy. He has had more than 11 of them, more than 10 of them, Grammys. So he's not just been nominated, he has won them. And he is one of the leaders of this kind of obscene videos. Yeah. I mean, sexualizing human beings and women and making them to objects, making women and... No, don't show the video again, please. Just show us. So it is people like Kanye West and people like... the young guy that is now a president worship leader,
Justin
Bieber, and people like that. They were the people who are doing this kind of thing before. So our young guys, they think they are being civilized by copying those people. But the same people they are copying are now repenting of this lifestyle. The same people they are copying are now repenting of this and saying this is horrible. These same Americans are now rejecting this. These same Americans are now saying, no, we have been deceived. This is an act of deceived people. This is an act of people who have been possessed. This is an act of it's not an act of civilization. It's an act of people who are backward. It's an act of backwardness. And we are thinking backwardness, darkness, ignorance, bondage, deception, it is progress or it is civilization. But now that people they want to be like people, they want to be like Justin Bieber. All of them want to be like that. They want to be like that Kanye West. All of them in the entertainment industry in Nigeria want to be like that, or they want to have their success. And those same people are now the ones saying that no, we were wrong, we were deceived, we were blinded, we were blind. So, and these are the people we are trying to be like blind people. We are trying to be like dark people. We are trying to be like ignorant people who are now confessing to their ignorance and blindness. And we are copying those. That's why there must be a third force of people who will be talking against these things, who will be enlightening people, bringing light into the darkness, and letting people know that this is not civilization. This is not progress. This is backwardness. This is inferiority. Even white Americans are, and progressive black Americans too, they are talking about the fact that why should you turn the image of black woman to an object? Why should you turn black woman image to sex object? Why should you commercialize your human being? Before you are commercialized by white people. Now you are commercializing your women, yourselves. Not white people are doing it, you black people are doing it to yourself.
Dr. Sunday, I'm sure there was a time in Nigeria where parents, if a child or a word would tell their parents that I want to be a musician, I want to be a singer, there was a time they would say, oh no, you will not be a singer, no, you wouldn't do that. Perhaps because that time it wasn't prestigious to be doing that, or it wasn't economically advantageous because maybe musicians were not getting money as such. But if you look at the entertainment industry right now, I'm saying this because why we have a lot of people going into the entertainment industry and why is as though it is booming every year is that right now the celebrities, people who are gathering the greatest influence, or maybe one of the greatest influence in Nigeria as a nation, are these musicians, these entertainers, not only do they have influence, they also have affluence. They're also rich people. They also have the money and the fame and all of that. And they exude some sort of success and fulfillment and all of that. And this is exactly what the young people are seeing, because they are aspiring to either be rich or to be famous or to have all of this success. So how do we dissuade Nigerians, or how do we dissuade young Nigerians saying this is not how things should be done, when they have role models like the Davidos and the Wizkids who appear to be living the life that they desire?
That's exactly what I'm telling you, that the guy in America in England was saying, that that's the life that these young people desire, and that's why even church is now being compromised to look or project itself as the people who are living that kind of lifestyle that the people want to be like. And that is the problem when the world becomes the standard. Mm-hmm. But with Nigeria, I'm much more concerned because I don't see too many people condemning this.
Yes.
And it's like there are no elders in the country. It's like there are no senior citizens in the land anymore. It's like the politicians and the regulatory bodies, it's like they are just turning blind eyes to these things, as if these things are just normal. I even had the vice president, who is a pastor himself, praising this. Is it Olamide you put?
Of course, Olamide.
Olamide. Yes. I personally had my friend, Oshibajo is my friend. Oshibajo was talking nice about this guy that is more decent. Is this decency?
Well, even, 2 weeks ago or thereabouts, even Lai Mohammed, which is the Minister of Information, he was also talking about the government ready to invest in the entertainment industry.
I saw it. I said they still want to put money and invest in these people. People who are already killing them and killing their country. Somebody has lobbied for that. So that they want to invest in. What do you want to invest? Is it the kind of thing you want to invest in? Go and invest in education. People cannot get primary school or secondary school. People cannot even get, to buy shoes or to buy sport. Now there is going to be Olympics next year. We are not going to bring back anything. Go and invest in that. Why should you go and be investing in things that are the least human criteria?
Well, they are saying it's bringing some sort of economic empowerment to Nigeria.
Yeah, but if you wanted to put economic attraction above moral values, then legalize prostitution. We have a lot of women in Nigeria. Why should you be combating them in Edo women from going to Italy? Then go and be taxing them and exporting them. Go and be exporting your women now. Like Edo people, some Edo parents are exporting their children to go and do prostitution. Go and do that, so that if life is also about money.
So we just have our values.
And if life is just about money, go and empower the Anambra boys that are carrying drugs. Go and empower them. Or go and empower the Yoruba boys that are doing the 419 on the scam, fraud. Go and empower them. Because we don't have black and white something. We don't have moral compass. We don't have a restraint, a system of restraint in the society. We don't differentiate what is right and what is wrong. We are not having absolutes. And we are allowing this, the uninformed to erode away our absolutes and our values.
Thank you.
Moral standard is being compromised on the altar of expediency. Expediency should not be put over moral values.
Thank you, Dr. Sunday. Moving forward, I would like to talk about even our politicians. It's a sad thing, really, when people who should be informed and people who should have greater understanding and greater knowledge, people who should be leaders, people who should be the ones who should cast the vision to people who lack vision, where they are conforming to the standards. For example, in elections, or if you look at the campaigns, they have to organize music for them to have campaigns. Not only would they organize some sort of music or invite entertainers, they would dance.
People to joke.
And even the politicians, they will be dancing
too. And they will tell you they want to be closer to the people or whatever they say.
So that they can...
As if they are not leaders. As if it is not leaders who are supposed to lead people to the right path. But they are coming down from their ivory towers to come to the level of where the less informed people are.
Yeah.
Instead of them to enlighten the less informed and let the less informed follow the right path, and they should chart the right direction for the society, for the health of the society. But they are now, because they want to win election, they want to identify with profanity, with frivolity, and they are now, recognizing frivolity, profanity that way, and just because they want to win election. It's still about sacrificing moral values on the altar of expediency.
Wow. There's a scripture, I don't know if you're going to talk about the scripture that talks about how the tragedy when kings...
Yeah, I will talk about it, yes, because I have it written there somewhere. If you want us to talk about it, we can talk about it now.
Maybe we can say...
Okay, let's see the scripture the slide that I wanted to show.
Okay.
You should have the slides there.
Yeah.
So...
well, I'm bringing this at this point because I want us to talk about the leaders, because, like you rightly said, if the people who should be leading and they are bringing themselves down from the ivory tower to people on the ground, then how do we move forward? So I want us to really address this issue before we will move to other parts of the entertainment industry.
Okay. So, for example, this scripture here, Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 16 to 17, say, "Woe to you, O land, when your king is a child." Who is the king? Kings are leaders. So when the people who are supposed to be the leaders of the country, like that, the guy who was just removed from the Senate, this Dino Melaye, he's doing all kind of crazy stuff. It's okay to dance if you want to do it, but it has become almost an accepted behavioral pattern for politicians to be bringing things like that. But it's not just him. Even when those people that these people that they are celebrating in our society, those Davidos, with kids, and these other people, there's a lady Savage, and this Olamide. All these people are leaders. Whenever leaders are children, whenever you make children to be kings, these people are children in their mind, in their thinking, in their values, and they are the kings of the industry.
Yes.
The kings of the former kings of the industry are leaving the stage. They are not even popular right now. So Ebenezer Obey, Sonia Day, Barrister, Collington, and other people, Sonny Okosu, all of them are gone.
Yeah.
So now the kings of entertainment industry in Nigeria are these guys. But woe unto the land. Whenever those kind of things happen, whenever children assume the position of kings to rule over the land, it's a sign of punishment for the land.
Wow.
It's a sign of a curse that is being put upon the country. More so when even political leadership, like we are talking about right now, are now become like children. And they too are not bigger than a child in their mind, and they are behaving like children. The more the woe of the land. But now let's talk about, let's even leave the political leaders. What about the spiritual church leaders? When the church leaders themselves are now relying on entertainment, they are now relying on stimuli, when they are now relying on instinctive manifestation, they are now relying on expediency of entertainment to be able to preach the gospel itself. So when the children, the people who are supposed to be spiritual leaders are also children, you see the woe, the amount of woe upon the land, the amount of curse upon the land, the amount of catastrophe upon the land, the amount of destruction upon the land, the amount of tragedy upon the land. So there could be woe upon the land in a smaller dimension, like a dot. But our own woe is like a tsunami. It's an overwhelming woe. Woe to that land when all over the place, in all different spheres of life, the kings, the leaders are not better than a child. And what are the manifestations, according to this scripture, what are the manifestations of a country where the leaders are children, or of leaders when they are children? Do you see it there? It says, woe to you, O land, when your king is a child and your princes feast in the morning. You know, what is feasting? Eating. Morning is supposed to be a time of work and labor. Morning is supposed to be a time of productivity. Morning is supposed to be a time when people go to work, when people are getting ready for diligence, when people are getting ready for dignity of labor, when people are getting ready to go and produce, when people want to produce goods, when people are looking after how to be productive, how to about producing services. But at that time, when the emphasis is more on what to eat, that is what brings about corruption. That is what brings about egocentrism. Everybody is consumed by their own needs. It means that ego is driving them. That is instinct, survival instinct. When survival instinct is placed over rationality, woe upon that land. And that's what we are talking about today. The survival, the entertainment industry, our entertainment nature, it is a form of instinct, it's a stimuli. So when stimulus or stimuli has been celebrated or elevated above reason, that means that instinct is being elevated above reason. And when that happens, woe is a sign of woe. Destruction, catastrophe upon the land, woe upon the land, when it is not just ordinary citizens that are doing this, but when people who are supposed to be the princes of our land are those people who are supposed to be the leaders in entertainment, leaders in art, leaders of industries, captains of industries, people who are supposed to be in politics, in church, people who are supposed to be the kings of the land, they're the princes of the land. They are supposed to be emphasizing labor, they are supposed to be emphasizing values, they are supposed to be emphasizing principles. They are supposed to be emphasizing, virtues. They are supposed to be emphasizing diligence. They are supposed to be emphasizing things that will bring about productivity to the nation. Things that will bring about a virtuous people. Things that will bring about a nation of competitiveness. They are supposed to be emphasizing critical thinking. They are supposed to be emphasizing analytical thinking. They are supposed to be emphasizing truth. They are supposed to be emphasizing love. They are supposed to be emphasizing other virtues like character. They are supposed to be emphasizing the need for raising personalities and individuals that are strong enough to be able to, prefer solution to all our multiple challenges. But instead of that, when those people who are supposed to be the brightest, the elite of the society, the visible people in the society, the leaders, when they are more concerned about feasting, party. Feasting means partying. Owambe. When our country, look at our country, who is not particular about Owambe? It's like the whole country is carried away by entertainment. This feasting here means entertainment. So he says when your country and your leaders, the leaders of your land, are more concerned about entertainment, woe unto the land. When the nation is taken over by entertainment, woe unto the land. When musical need or need for fun and for shilling is overwhelming and is taking over the mind of the public leaders, the public opinion leaders, and the people who are visible in the land, woe unto the land. That is a sign of a curse. That is a sign that the land is under a punishment by God Almighty. Woe to the land whose leaders and princes. The princes stands for elite. When our elites are all concerned about ovation, when we are more concerned about partying, owambe, spraying of money, or just music, entertainment, jokes, comedy, woe unto the land, because your princes are feasting in the morning or partying in the morning. Morning is supposed to be about work, about labor, about hard work, about thinking process, about about productivity. But that's why we don't have anything produced. Then it goes on to say, blessed are you, O land, on the other hand, when your king is the son of nobles. And the son of nobles are the things who know what to do at the proper time. And your princes feast in the proper time. So what is the proper time? The Bible says that God worked for 6 days and on the 7th day he rest. It's a ratio of 1 to 7. Is it 1 to 6? 1 to 6. It's a ratio of 1 to 6. So the amount and the emphasis we should put on labor, the amount and emphasis we should put on diligence, the amount and emphasis we should put on hard work should be 6 times more than the emphasis that is put on entertainment, on feasting, and on music, on jokes and things like that. So that is when we become a noble people. We are not nobles right now. We are not a noble nation, and we are not being respected. Our industry is not competitive. We don't have technology. We don't have innovation. We don't have creativity. We don't have inventions. Why? Because we are busy dancing. We are busy entertaining one another. We are busy feasting in the morning. We are busy behaving like children. Only children behave like that. But adults will dress in the morning to go to work. But children will be asking, mama, mama, food, food, eat, eat, eat. That's what children do in the morning. And he says, but even when the nobles, people who are noble, people who are real leaders, even when they are ready to eat and to feast, they do it not because of feasting, not because of partying. They eat at the proper time for strength. For strength to be able to go and walk more. To get strength to go and be able to labor more. To get strength to go and be able to produce more. It is for strength, not for drunkenness. Not just for fun. When fun part of life becomes the emphasis, when the fun part of life becomes the focus, that is when tragedy is. That's why I wrote this book. Labor is better than vacation. I think I have work. Work is better than
vacation.
Work is better than
vacation.
I think
labor better than favor.
Yeah, work is better than vacation. Labor better than favor. Yes. So I wrote this book. Work is better than vacation, and labor is better than favor. Because in my country, it is favor people are looking at. The focus is entertainment. The focus is fun. The focus is on shilling. But is what it's talking about here. The normal princes, the noble princes, they want to have fun. They have it so that they will renew their strength to be able to go to produce more. Even when they want to eat, they eat for the purpose of after that event to go and produce much more. So this is what the whole thing is all about. But when we are animals, when we are mouse, when we are biomasses, we just want to keep on enjoying ourselves. The focus is not productivity. The focus is not the strength to go and produce more. The focus is shilling. Because of laziness and building decays, the building decays. Because of laziness, the country decays. This is not just talking about building. It's talking about anything that is built. The house will decay. The family will decay. The church will decay. And we see the decay in the Nigerian church today. We see the decay in the Nigerian society. We see the decay in the country as a whole. Because of this kind of mindset. The mindset of feasting in the morning. The mindset of a child. The mindset of chilling and resting and drinking and entertainment for the purpose of just fun. And for drunkenness and just for fun. For the fun of it. Instead of for the purpose of labor, and through idleness, through idleness of hands, the house links. The house begins to link. It cracks. There's crack in our house, guys. And if we want to fix the crack in our house, we've got to fix this value system. These are vices that we're having. Vices are being celebrated in my country right now. These things that we're talking about, entertainment has become a vice. It is no more for strength. It is no more for renewal of your energy. It is no more for productivity. It is now a vice because it is all being done for the sake of fun and of rest and of enjoyment. When the enjoyment becomes the focus of a people, they live in bankruptcy. That enjoyment will lead you to bankruptcy. The focus of people is not supposed to be enjoyment. It's supposed to be productivity. It's supposed to be results. It's supposed to be labor. It's supposed to be goods, productivity, production of goods, production of services. It's supposed to be adding value. The production of value is supposed to be our focus. But our focus right now is to enjoy and to shield. That is why it has become a vice and a catastrophe. And with a sign of woe of God punishment of God, the indignation of God. Woe upon such a land when the focus of your country is on fun, it's on shilling, it's on idleness, it's on dancing, it's on entertainment, it's on music, it's on just move. What move do you have? It's on dressing, it's on packaging, they call it packaging. Those things are the things that makes the house leak. They make the house crumble, they make the house decay, they make the nation decay, they make the nation break, so these are the things that are bringing about the destruction of our country. It's not just the political people, it is the problem of our whole people. It's not just about the fact that we want the division, or the Yorubas want to go, the Igbos want to go. No, it's about what is the content of our character. It's about what is in us. It's about what is in our nation, and in our foundation, in our content, in the content of who we are, that must be addressed, that must be fixed.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sunday, for that. That is definitely very explicit. And I remember one of your books that I worked on. No, I actually read. I didn't work on it. The Role of Elites in National Transformation. And when I was reading that book, I really saw that lack of vision is one of the the leading cause of the decay of our nation. One of the reasons why we are where we are is because we lack vision as a nation. Our elites, they lack vision. The leaders lack vision. Average Nigerians lack vision. I want us to talk about the Nollywood, all right? That is the people who are in charge of the movies and all of that. One of the things I learned is that one of the engine that propagates either values or vices in any nation is the media. And Nollywood right now, to their praise, is rated, I think, the third largest film industry in the world. That's after Hollywood and Bollywood. But one thing I want us to address today is the responsibility that Nigerian Nollywood has in propagating the right values in our nation, and how they can do that, and how they should actually apply vision in propagating the right values that will lead to nation building. But before you give answer to that, I want us to watch a video. This is an old video. I think it was shot in 1958 or in the 1950s. It's an American video, and it shows how right from the 1950s, and I'm sure it even happened earlier than that, that Hollywood, as it was then, and the film industry there, they had vision. And they had vision to teach Americans things as simple as manners. And this was shown on their TVs, and people will sit down, families will sit down and learn manners. So I want us to watch that video right now. It's black and white, so you know that, of course, this is a 1958 video, and then we're now going to bring it into context to our Nigerian Nollywood, and I would like you to address everyone in Nollywood and what they need to know on how to move Nigeria forward by propagating values. So let's watch that video, please. Thank you.
Cities are built of something that's far more important than steel and brick and stone. What holds a city together is a need which all men have. The need for living together with their fellow men, sharing their work, helping each other, enjoying their friendships and their companionship. And since people must depend upon one another, they have built up ways through the ages of getting along together. Our laws are one way of doing this. But just as important as laws are the rules and usages of courtesy and consideration, which we call good manners. They come naturally where people have a high regard for each other. We see good manners every day, not only among adults, but among children, too. Often they may not even realize that the consideration they're showing for others might be called good manners. Wherever you go, you'll always find that good manners keep things running smoothly. Paying attention to a neighbor's yard is good manners because it's considerate. So is going to the end of the line instead of trying to break into the middle. It's only fair to those who were there before you. Introductions are good manners because they're friendly and help people be at ease with each other. And good manners at the table make for a pleasant and comfortable meal. Such things as coming to the table with clean hands and face, passing food properly, and pleasant conversation make mealtime enjoyable for the whole family. Yes, you see good manners wherever there are people who respect each other and want to get along with others. Sometimes, though, you find a person like Mickey Taylor who has lost sight of the importance of good manners or who hasn't realized the values of consideration for others.
Hi, Mom. Anybody home? Yes, dear. Come in and say hello to Mrs. Norris.
Letting the screen door slam, strewing his clothes about the kitchen, certainly isn't being considerate of his mother.
I'll get him. Hello? Who? Karen? No, she's not in.
The least he could do is offer to take a message. And what about the importance of good manners to guests of other members of the family?
You remember Mrs. Norris, don't you? Oh, hello, Mickey. It's nice to see you again.
Hello.
It's time for one of Mickey's favorite programs, and he doesn't stop to think that the set may disturb his mother and her guest. It isn't that Mickey wants to be rude, he just hasn't stopped to think.
Mickey. Mom.
Mickey, I'm afraid you're going to have to turn off that set. Mickey.
Mickey, may I speak with you? Okay. Is she
I guess it's even interesting to watch, although it was shot in the 1950s. But this is, Africans and Nigerians just want to fly and run into America and the West because they see a civilized nation and they see a civilized people. But they don't know what led to that. And they don't know that there was a system in place that the media and the Hollywood or the film industry, they sat down, designed a system on how to teach people things as basic as opening the door for a lady to come in, as basic as table manners. But when I see the media today in Nigeria and the Nollywood in Nigeria, it's a far cry from what we just saw from that video. I want you to, Dr. Sunday, to address the Nigerian Nollywood in general. What message do you have for them?
No, first of all, I'm happy that you brought out this video from Hollywood. Now, what they don't know is that Hollywood itself was started because of this purpose. Film industry was started because of this purpose. For the purpose of propagating the right values, virtues, the normal human relationship standards. There are many of them. These are not the only one. There are so many of these kind of films. But so when we come to America or you come to Europe today, we don't know what made them to be like this. And that way. Otherwise, all of us, we're drawn to the worst part of us. We are drawn to animalistic, instinctive survival instinct. But if until you have a mechanism of nurturing the right value system in people, they don't become the right people that you want to see. So, I want to let people know that this was at a time when it was only one television station, Rescos, not an Elite. This was at a time when it was only one television station in America. So the whole country, that time there were no channels, nothing. So the whole country was being nurtured by this thing. The whole country was being, impacted with the right value system. The whole country was being taught on manners, on how to behave. So these are the things that are responsible for the America that we now see today. So the America we now see today, or the Europe we see today, is not by accident. It is because for years, decades, people were taught in the school. So the same thing that is being taught right now in those values, in that the same thing are being taught in schools. Up to now, they still have them in schools. Kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, they still have those kind of manners that they teach everywhere. But in those days, they use all their system to teach it. So this is what media is supposed to be for in our place. This is what our entertainment industry was supposed to be. It was only in the 70s or in the 80s, I think it was in the 80s or late 70s, that American Hollywood became the kind of thing we are seeing right now, because it was more commercialized. And when money comes into place, money becomes, money replaces values, and it begins to just do what will sell. So that is what our people just want to copy. They just copy what they are seeing right now, but they don't know that there's a higher purpose that is supposed to be for media, for entertainment, and the government and the regulatory bodies are supposed to be there to correct these kind of things. That's why we're supposed to have a government. That's why we're supposed to have regulations. That's why we're supposed to have ministers, parliament, National Assembly, that are supposed to formulate ideas and are supposed to give direction. That's why we're supposed to have the agency on orientation of the country, on values. This is why we're supposed to, be able to, build a system and put a system in place for all our media organization to follow. All of them are supposed to follow the system of propagating. So any of the operations has to be within, this set of values that we want to generate in our people. Even in America, Hollywood up to today, if you see all their films, they are always around some certain values. The good people always win, the bad people always lose. Some people will struggle in the beginning and later on they make it. It's American values. So it's all around some value systems. So the same thing, we are supposed to define a list of values, like we have those 20 list of value system that we have. We are supposed to get that and give to the entertainment world our own Nollywood and television, radio, all of them. Do anything you want, but in the you must be propagating some values. Right now, people are just doing whatever will give them money and fame and popularity. But we are supposed to guide them and give them guidance. If you don't give people vision, they will lose direction. So it is that vision that must be put in place to make sure that our television, people will not know that they are working in accordance to a given value system, but at least they must know. The people in charge are supposed to know, and that is how we form a new people and a new nation.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I would like to give the invitation.
But right now, you want to,
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'll just give the invitation to our viewers who are watching, who would like to contribute to today's discussion. The way to do it is to go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents. So Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents, and write to us. Register your intent to call in, to contribute, to share your thoughts, to ask questions, just anything you like to do. The line will be open very soon. So just go Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents, Madik, and write to us that you like to contribute, and would be happy to hear from you. Dr. Sunday, you can continue your thoughts.
Yes, I was just about to say that right now, what our Hollywood and is in Nollywood, what our Nollywood does and our media in general does is just propagating prodigal lifestyle. The kind of lifestyle we are propagating is what has given birth to people like those kind of guys we just saw now, Olamide, Davido, all those kind of people. It's prodigal lifestyle. So we're either propagating prodigal lifestyle or we are propagating the lifestyle of that lazy and wicked servant that Jesus spoke about in Matthew 25, that goes about to and that went about to bury the talent that was given instead of investing it. So what mindset are we propagating? Is it the same mindset? A prodigal mindset is also it's also the mindset of that child that took the inheritance of his father in Luke 16 and went to just party with it and just go and waste their talents. So people are wasting away right now. They are wasting away their talents, they are wasting away the resources of the individuals and of the country because there are no right value systems that have been propagated. So media, entertainment is all supposed to be about propagation of values and principles and virtues and things that are giving direction and vision to the country, and who are being used as who are supposed to be used as instruments to guard and to guide and to lead a nation in the way of the purpose, the vision that we have for our people. Do we have callers?
Yeah.
Okay. People.
Yeah. Why people register their intent? I would like to just talk about the books that are quite relevant to today's conversation. The first book that you can see on the screen is Insulted by Ungodliness. We want to believe that there should be people that should be insulted by this entertainment craze that has ravaged our nation, that has led to the war, that has led to the destruction that we have in our values. So do well to get this book. The book is titled Insulted by Ungodliness. Can we see another book so that I can talk about it? I think one other book. Another book here we can see I Am a Person, Am I a Personality? I Am a Person, Am I a Personality? This is another book that every Nigerian must read and must study, because
to change himself.
Yeah, to change himself as an individual. We can't afford to keep living like biomasses. We have to become personalities. People who are not just labeled as people who just know how to dance and sing, but people who can use their mind, people who can innovate, people who can bring stuffs out. So please do well to get that book. Another book here that is very, very, very important, very vital, is Get Rid of Shallow-mindedness. Get rid of shallow-mindedness. This is like a clarion call to every Nigerian, every African, that hey, the reason why we are where we are today, the reason why we are described as undercivilized or uncivilized nations, is because we are shallow-minded. We have not embraced and inculcated critical thinking, analytical thinking, strategic thinking as our way of life. So please, let's do well to do that. Do we have a caller already? All right, so let's receive the caller. Good evening, caller. We can't. Hello, caller. Good evening.
This is Joshua from Berlin.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Joshua. Thank you. Can you please either speak louder or speak closer to your device?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to say two things. By the grace of God, I've been reading Pastor Sunday's book. I have 8 of the books now in the house, and I've read all. And I just want to say, anytime you're ready to go back to Nigeria, please don't forget to contact me.
Because you want to follow.
Already, and we are planning to. Yes, sir. I always tell you. I always call once in a while. I'm Joshua Akunko, Pastor Joshua from Berlin. I always call once in a while to just tell you that I want to follow back to Nigeria. and I'm ready to do whatever it takes to be among the. I want to go back to Nigeria and fix it.
Awesome. Have you registered in? Have you gone?
Yeah, I've done
you've done registration.
Done
okay, beautiful.
I've done that.
Beautiful.
I've done that. That is all I just want to say. You should not forget.
Okay.
Should not forget to please remind us and contact us. We're ready.
Awesome.
Ready to go back with you and fix it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, Pastor Joshua. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Pastor Joshua. Yes, and I would like to also give the announcement to everyone who is watching us. If you've not, if you're interested, let's do that. If you're interested in joining the Nigerian transformation team projects for Nigeria, it will happen, guys. As they always says that people are saying, "Come now, you're just talking. Stop talking. Come." And by God's grace, we'll be coming to Nigeria. So if you want to join that team, the way to do it is to go to sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria. So sundayadelajablog.com/Nigeria and register that you'd like to join the team. I think we have another caller. Hello, caller. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon where I am. My name is BJ.
All right, good to hear you, BJ. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, I'm going to be very brief. I want to say that Pastor Sunday is not only speaking to Nigerians, he's speaking to like the black race in general.
Wow.
Because these are like common traits amongst black people everywhere. I mean, I live in America, and the African Americans over here, the black people over here, are struggling with the same issues. There's just obsession with entertainment and their entertainment. It's like a message not just for Nigerians, but it's a message towards the Africans, the black Africans, and the blacks outside of Africa.
Interesting.
It's just the same common trait. So I think this message is not just, it's meant for the black race in general. That's just my contribution, because I see where I am, I see the same traits. I see the love for the pride in entertainment icons, and it's like the black race in America, we don't really have an economic presence. I mean, the Asians do, the whites do, but the black, we have individual people who are successful, but as a whole,
as a race,
we don't. Yeah, as a race, we don't have.
Who is talking?
We can say that.
BJ.
BJ, BJ, you see, in America, the thing with America is, it's so true what you are saying, but at least in America, in the presence of the entertainment craze and all these things, their presence is less than 2% in America, 2%. But in Nigeria, it has taken over the whole culture.
Wow.
It's like he said, 70, 80, 90% of the culture has been engulfed by this craze of the minor, lesser culture, lesser people, no higher values.
Yes, and I see the same traits in me as well. I can't exclude myself. I'm in the office.
We battle with it.
I grew up in the Nigerian church. I'm in the office, and for some reason, I just want to listen to music. When music is playing, I just don't know what happens. I just start dancing.
Are you serious?
Yes.
and I see that with a lot of Nigeria. Let me tell you something, BJ. There is a guy in my house. He was staying in my house last year. They call him Olumide. He was telling me, when he had me talking about this one time, he said, "Pastor, I just discovered now the difference between me and my white colleagues." He's working somewhere in the office here, and they are working with Japanese and some. He said, but with him, when these people are thinking, brainstorming, he said he's just singing to himself and dancing, and he was saying, "What is wrong with me? I cannot produce. I cannot." He said he just now he discovered that he's just in the atmosphere, in the very world of it. He's not even aware of it. Because nobody even talks about this as something negative.
Yeah.
Yes. It's our pride. It's not something we look at as a vice. We look at it as a pride.
As a pride.
And we view other races that don't embrace this as boring. Yeah, when I was in Japan, when the Japanese are working, they just work. It's so quiet. And I asked them, do you guys like sing at work? So weird. No. We don't do all of that. So it's something we've embraced. This is like our trait. This is our signature as black people. And
We've identified it.
So there is no dichotomy. We don't put the dichotomy between rest and entertainment and focus, productivity, and adding of.
No.
We just want to feel good. So this, there is something that's called feel good culture. So we have embraced the feel good culture as part of ourselves. We have identified ourselves with. We have labeled ourselves with feel good culture.
Yeah, and that's why when I said I realized with myself, I have a problem with quiet. Places are so quiet. There has to be talking, noise, music, laughter, even arguments, even a fight.
Something has to be going on.
Like the environment is moving forward.
So you see why we are going to have problem with inventions and laboratories.
Yes.
Because in laboratories, that is everything has to be quiet. And with productivity, innovation, and invention, you've got to go to solitude.
Yeah, and it's hard for Nigerians to do that. Black Africans.
Yeah.
Thank you, BJ.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, he's saying the truth. I mean, and it's for real.
He faced the fact.
Yeah,
he faced the truth.
He's saying the truth. Because, and I think one of the things that makes this discussion very, very important is because we don't see that these entertainment something wrong, and we are conditioned. It's almost like what he's saying. Like, let them play a song like this now. An African or a Nigerian would not even know when he starts dancing. I mean,
he will not even. He's not even aware.
He's not aware. So
he's taking over. He's
hijacked by it, and he's just doing everything.
Because it's responding to stimulus. Stimulus, it means you are being stimulated by something. It could be a touch, it could be music, it's senses. It means senses are being elevated over spirit man. It means that senses are being elevated over common sense, intellect. So, but senses are supposed to be for outward life only, and that is why the animals are. So senses, they are the things that respond to stimuli, and stimulus, and as instinct and reflexes. Those are things that are not supposed to be dominant, even though they are there in the life of human beings, but they are not supposed to be dominant.
But now they're dominant.
Because a man is not, because those things belong only to the realm of the body. They belong to the realm of this body. They apply to the 5 senses only apply to the body. But so even though we have body, but body shouldn't rule over man. Because body is not man. The man is higher than the body. So the fact that you are seeing me right now and I can respond to senses, 5 senses, doesn't mean that is who I am. So that is not all of me. I still have the body, but that's not all of me. What is higher in me than my body is my mind. But what is even higher than my mind is my spirit. So those things are supposed to subjugate my body. They are supposed to be stronger than the influence of senses over me. But what you are now talking about, we are talking about right now, is that our people have identified with senses over and above the mind and over and above the spirit man. So we have no rule over the lower part. We have allowed the lower nature of man to take dominance, and we have now celebrated it.
And we're now proud.
And we are now identifying with it. I don't know if we have a caller. Okay, maybe for anybody who wants to call.
Anybody. I announced before, I'm going to announce again. If you want to contribute to this discussion, the way to do it, like I said before, is to go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agent. Move Agents on Facebook Messenger. And
Move Agents.
Move Agents with the S.
Move
Agents, with S at the end. So tell us that you'd like to call in, and would love to hear your contribution.
Because I'm thinking that most people might not know why. Why should it be wrong? So, but I think with the explanation of spirit, soul, and body is important. That the body, senses, that what we are talking about is the celebration of senses, sensuality, when sensual nature of man is being held as dominant. That is what we read about in Ecclesiastes, that, eating, feasting, pleasure, feasting, those are the responses of the body. So the functionality and the faculties of the body, they are not supposed to be dominant over the man. So it's something higher than the man in the body, than the body in a man. So that is what we saw in that Genesis chapter 2. In Genesis chapter 2, it says that God created man and formed him from the clay of the earth, of the air. So when God formed the man, he formed his body first. But when the body was there, the body never lived. The body never responded to anything. So that is why he said, that body is taken from the flesh, from the dust, and it go back to the dust, because it is nothing. The value of a man is not in his body. The value of a man, the essence of man is not in his body. So when that body was still there, even though you have all the features, your eyes, your something, but nothing worked, because that is not man. So it is only after God breathed into the body that was there that something happened to the man. The spirit came, the breath of God became the spirit of the man. So, but it is not even enough. So the spirit only brought life
to the body.
But life is not even enough. The fact that you have life, yes, life, the spirit makes life to be superior, or makes spirit life to be superior to the body life. But the functionality of man didn't begin, even with life. He was still down there life, but he couldn't function. The functionality only occurred when the man became Homo sapiens. Or what it says in the Bible, he became a living soul. But in the original, that word living, it says a thinking soul, a thinking man, a living. So what happened was when there was the fusion of the mind and the spirit and the spirit into the body, there was a third party that was formulated. That is the soulish man, the soul of the man. The intellect appeared. The mind appeared. That mind and intellect, it is for the rulership, for the guidance and the operation on the earth. It is what we are supposed to. So that mind is supposed to dominate the body, and is supposed to work in harmony with the spirit, because it is only from the appearance of the spirit that it came about. So it is superior to that. So it is between the spirit and the body, but it's supposed to be ruling over the body, not the body ruling over it. I think we have a call or something, no?
I think we have a call actually.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Pastor. My name is Gideon. I'm calling from Abuja.
Oh, all the way from Nigeria.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Nice. I'm always excited when I hear from home.
Seriously, for some weeks now, I've been dazed with what I'm getting from your platform. And I can say I used to be, I am a very good church boy. At a point, I am a very... I'm heading the praise team, but somehow I lost it all. I became confused because there was no more excitement. We go to church and then we are looking for this stimulant you are talking about.
Yes.
And it's not working. It's not working. You get so dry. So something you are used to, there's nothing new. And then I got this at my feet. I must confess that it is when I started listening and following your program that I began to be excited about God again.
Wow.
I got discouraged. I stopped. Each time I want to go to church, I feel as if I don't know what am I going there, because everything I have done, I have done all the works, I have done everything, and then at a point I lost it all. I didn't know why. It's more exciting to even be out there than to go to church. Yes. It is now that I'm beginning to understand this is actually my problem, because I'm in a problem. I don't even know my problem. I don't know how to encourage my children about church. I will take them from one church, I'll go to the other one. After a while, I myself, I will start having issues because I don't know where my problems are. I want to thank you for coming at this moment because I think All About You has so much to do with, and I believe there are a lot of my friends and people that are in my shoes in Nigeria because really we need help. And this is help that is beginning to come to us. Now I understand why I've lost it all. So thank you very, very much. I am following and I'm making all my friends to follow this program, and I'm beginning to make plans so that I'll begin to, I don't even know where to start from because the whole thing is too much. I'm getting to hear from left, right, and center of all that you are doing and all these messages. Sir, thank you very much. God will bless you. God will bless you, and God will extend this ministry to the nooks and crannies of this country. Thank you very much.
Gideon, you are such a truthful person, and I would like to confirm what you said. Last year, there was a news that hit the internet that a praise and worship leader in Abuja committed suicide.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about it.
No, I didn't hear about this.
Yes, we heard about it. You know, it's because of these things you are talking about.
If you see some praise and worship leaders, sir, some that I met in this town, some of them, you see them, they are wretched, they are confused. Because what we are taught, what we know about praise and worship is so fake. This is now, I begin to understand why if I'm alone, I can't, I sometimes it's when I'm alone that I'm able to focus. But the whole church thing is confusing us.
Yes. Yes.
Christianity is becoming exciting now that I'm beginning to understand my relationship with God and how I should relate to Him, not out of any stimulant. You go to church, you want to praise God, you want to worship God. Okay, you are waiting for the instrumentalist to give you the rhythm, and without music, you cannot really worship God. You are waiting for things.
Stimulant.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Now I know my problems. I thank you very much.
And I would like to encourage you, please look for on YouTube. You will see a series that I've taught on church,
yes,
and cult. You just look for anything I've written about. The video. I have a video that is a series that is called "How to Know God Through the Church," and there is another one that is called. I think there are about 30 videos there. There's another one that is called "Is Your Church a Cult or Church Series?" There are about 20 videos there. So by the time you renew your mind, maybe you will discover that there is no church in Nigeria. All those things they call church, now slave camp.
I've seen it, sir. I have seen it. I have been to many. I have moved from one church to the other in seeking for which one would really help me. I have known too much about the church that I'm confused. That's what got me discouraged. That's what got me discouraged. I have moved from places to places. I don't know. There are too many. And they are all doing the same thing.
Yes.
It's like you're transiting from one culture group. Just when you think that this is the right person, and then the next one you hear is the same thing. Everybody just want to pocket you and keep you there. And then if you are a praise and worship leader, you are just like a tool.
Yes.
You are just like a tool. They use you, get attention, and then give you some little praises. And after that, nobody wants to know what you're going through. Nobody wants to know how is your relationship with God. God has just become so strange to some of us, and we don't even know. Thank you. I don't know how to thank you, sir, but I will look for those videos. I've been watching your series. I have to start from beginning. I have to start being a friend of God, how to know God and be a friend of God. I look for that topic because I want to renew my relationship with God and understand who God is. And this is just these days I'm beginning to have my direction about my relationship with God. Thank you very much, sir.
Congratulations, Gideon. Please go for it. Go for it, my brother.
Keep the fire burning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, such a truthful guy. I mean, you can't live in denial anymore. This is just crystal clear that.
So I am the Antichrist. I've come to destroy Nigeria church. They don't know the church don't destroy a long time.
It's depraved.
They have destroyed the church now. It's now that we want to restore it.
And to bring the truth there.
Because it brings about decay.
Yeah.
The leakage. The brokenness. The foundation is broken.
Yeah.
Maybe some people still want to call. Maybe we should still make announcement for anybody who might want to call.
I think we still have some callers. Okay. So if you would like to contribute, please go ahead, register.
We have one now. Do we have a caller? Okay. Hello?
Oh, hello, dear, says Adelaja.
Make you speak louder, Sister Adiola. Your voice is low today.
I don't know what's wrong with my device nowadays. Anyway, can you hear me better now?
No.
What's wrong?
Make you talk louder. Speak into the thing direct.
Just to the microphone.
Yes, I am. Okay, is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. Dear, say you always amazes me every time with your topic, with your research, not just coming up, you research into it very well to give us a picture. You know what? It's really so I cried while I was driving home when I was listening to you. I cried when you pinpoint some really bad ones that you look at. I want to point these entertainers to, if they want to copy Americans, let's compare and contrast, right? If you look at all the PDDs, all the Jay-Z or whatever in America, despite the fact that they make the millions, right? They use the millions industry to produce. So that's why their millions could, escalate to, one of the richest entertainers in the world. But our own entertainers like Davido, they just make the money from these people who don't even have nothing, and then they splash it across the media for them to view how they are living large and, like this prodigal son. It's so sad. It is so sad. Though we all got before, I have a nature that I can switch quickly. Yeah, I can't bury myself in something for too long. No, I just have to change. That's my nature. I must change at any given. If I find I'm doing something, it's getting too much in me, I try to change quickly. Everything comes to me quickly. But people, they've lost it. Nigeria has lost it totally. The singing in the church is annoying now because they keep giving you, I don't even go anymore anyway, but even listening to it on the internet, you find that the whole night vigil is just, nothing, no teaching. They are not teaching these people how to live life, how to make life, they are just going there. It's a sad situation Nigeria is, and it's so sad that you point this thing out. I wish the government can listen to some of your tapes and use it. All the cultural ministers, everybody, they need it. I can't see why they've not seen you and know that, this man is pointing Nigeria to the right direction in every angle. You've touched everything, you touch it. You've done more than enough for us. Yes, I cried while listening to some you are pointing out this evening. I was crying, driving that this man is pointing us at what is really wrong. Before we can enjoy, we need to first of all make a nation, build it up to the extent that yes, enjoyment will come after. No, Nigerians enjoy, they don't work for it, which is why me too, I get cross with a lot of people I get into. I say, no, I'm not in for all this nonsense. You are still at that. I'm sorry, I am not. We have to see life in another perspective that will benefit not only us, the next generation to come. That's what Europe, America enjoy, and that's why we came to enjoy with them, and yet we still can't learn from them. We do all these vices, which is sad. Thank you so much anyway. You will do your best. I know you are doing your best. It's left for us to, make amend and move forward and do a better, be a better country. Because with all this fixing, everybody likes what you are presenting. That, yes, Nigeria will be better, but are we ready to work for it, walk through it, through the process to make us come out as a fine, fine gold, fine flower, just like the Bible, especially we Christians that we read this book. We want to come out as fine flower, as fine oil, as fine gold. Yes, you don't want to go through the process. It's sad. It's very, very sad. Thank you, DSA. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you so very much. Grateful. Okay, yeah, just like, you heard about the death of that entertainer.
Yeah, I did. And it's because, what you're saying is so true. And I'm just processing everything right now. And we're living from outside in, which is anti the nature that God has destined.
Anti God's order.
Yeah, God's order. It's not
God's order is that we live from inside out.
So no matter how much no matter the satisfaction that you get from outside in,
it's artificial life.
It's artificial. Over time,
it leads to death and
it leads to death and to decay. We have a caller already. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, DSA and Dr. Ano.
Good evening, sir.
It's Uche.
Uche, yeah, you are the wise man from England.
Yes.
Awesome.
Nice to hear you today again.
Thank you, sir. To be honest, Nigeria is in a very, very difficult and bad place. When our people no longer distinguish between evil and good. I understand the scripture says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil.
That's true.
When we put darkness for light and light for darkness, when we no longer know what is sweet and bitter, it's a difficult thing for the nation, because at the moment we substitute everything, invented everything upside down. Nobody knows where is the end. Nobody knows where is the tail.
True.
Our young ones are getting confused.
True.
As the day goes by.
Yes.
Because of the level, the volume of materials.
Yes.
That goes out to in the public domain. You go to any eatery, you will not hear anything. It is just music.
Of course.
Music.
On the streets.
On the street even.
They saturate your mind with vain word. I thought it was Solomon that says, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the songs of fools.
That's right, sir.
And now, if you listen to all these young men,
it is the songs of fools we are.
Songs of fools. We feed our minds, they feed the nation with all these songs that has no substance, no word in it. You look at some of these songs; they are so packed with curse words.
Horrible.
Is what language? I live in the UK. Some people can't string things together without putting knife and spoon inside, full of F words. They cannot speak two sentences.
Yeah.
That we say, because why? And now we are borrowing this into borrowing it, and these musicians are just putting these things out, churning it out, and people are swallowing all these things. Where are we going? Where is the nation going? You look at some of the narratives in our movie. It's only about sex, it's only about violence, or somehow we are idealizing satanic ideas.
Yes.
As if that is what Nigeria is all about.
Yeah.
Sometimes you watch these movies, you are asking yourself, where is this movie going? I don't know, maybe it was me. When you tape was played, clip was played, I was covering my eyes.
Yes. Yes.
Because I couldn't watch. it. And this kind of thing is being put out there. No regulation. Nobody regulate what people put out there. In the UK, there are things like the Ofcom. Anything you put in, you just need maybe 10 people complaining, and they clamp down on that video, on that movie, or whatever you put out there. Once there is complaint, they put the plug on that.
Yes.
And that is exactly what Nigeria need. regulators.
Yeah.
Who would first of all, they have to review what you're putting out there.
Yes.
If it is not good, they tell you, well, you cannot put this. If you put it out, they prosecute you.
Yes.
Well, is a nation, anybody do what you like. But it is a sad, very, very, very sad development for Nigeria. It's a country we love so much. We bled for that country, but somehow it seems he's slipping through our fingers.
Yes.
But we trust God.
Amen.
We trust God for the days that are ahead. That will come beautiful.
Amen.
That will come true for us.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a program like today. We keep on speaking. We keep on talking. It's not just only talking. Let at least raise the awareness.
Yes.
Once people begin to embrace it, the change will come.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you so very much. Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, these are the things we need to really address. I mean, you know, when you have when you had those conversations with the presidential candidates, and you're asking them questions, and I mean, they don't talk about they wanting to address things like this.
They don't even know there is a need for values or virtues.
I mean, everybody just saying, well, we're going to fix the road, we're going to create employment, we're going to do electricity, but these are the things that have led to the decay, to the leakage, to the decadence that we have in
and that's why people cannot produce. Yes. That's why people cannot be they cannot create jobs, they cannot create productivity, they cannot produce goods, they cannot be competitive, they cannot incorporate economic values because, you know, they are busy living in vanity.
Exactly.
Frivolity has hijacked the minds of our people. Vanity has taken over the mind of the people.
Exactly. Wow. So, well, the line is still open to everyone and anyone who would like to contribute to today's discussion. We're talking about the entertainment craze and why we must wage war against it. As a matter of fact, we need people who are insulted by this, because the goal is to build a developed and a civilized nation, a developed and a civilized people. And that's exactly what this book that you can see on the screen is talking about, how to transform and build a civilized nation. We can't have a civilized nation if our people are not civilized. And how can we develop a civilized people? It's for people to begin to pay attention or more attention to things that are with thinking, things that are more with reasoning than with the superficial things that just satisfies and gratifies our flesh and our senses. And that's exactly what we're talking about. This has to be a value system. It has to be propagated everywhere. It has to be propagated in the family. It has to be propagated in the schools, in our media. I mean, civil organizations have to rise up. Non-governmental organizations have to rise up and propagate this thing. And it must be a whole cry everywhere, talking about the need for us to start focusing on things that would lead to development, things that would lead to innovation, things that would lead to creativity. And we need everybody on board. So please do well to get this book. The book is titled How to Transform and Build a Civilized Nation. Do we have callers? All right, so we're still getting more callers. So please do well to get this book. And for those of you who would like to watch previous episodes on Fixing Nigeria, the way to do it is to go to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. I would like to encourage you to subscribe, because by subscribing you get notified with every video that comes from Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So subscribe, click the bell notification for you to get notified with every video. We have another caller. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Joseph the Dreamer from America.
The Dreamer.
Yeah.
I think, are you a musician yourself?
My name is Temitope Joseph the Dreamer from America.
Are you a musician?
I'm not a musician.
Okay. So tell us your contribution. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, my contribution to this thing, the program, is two things. I have two questions, then I have one contribution.
Okay.
My first question is, because I'm so much confused nowadays about in the church when so-called our papa, some people in industria to come and like a joke. And I think the Bible said God didn't know joke, a play or something like that. But I always seen that people brought people to the church and they started using the word of God as a joke just to make people to laugh. And I'm like, what kind of religion is this nowadays? What are we trying to teach another new generation? So when DSA brought this broadcast of today, when I was listening about the Hollywood, and I said, okay, let me ask this question, because in the most of the blue on YouTube, most of the his cassettes, his program at one, because I like to go to the old one. I never know that DSA before used to prophesize, like see vision to people, because I learn a lot of things from him now. Like when he say, I think, but before I'm like, what are you thinking? God said. If you want to say God said, but when I started listening to his most of the old preaching, I started learning from code that okay, this is the reason why this man is saying this. Because many people have been saying that, oh, don't mind that man, it's just a philosophy. He read too much book, that's why he just talking rubbish now. So that's what is worried the man. But when I started listening to the old so-called 19s preaching, I started getting a lot of things. Like what I said earlier. So first of all, that's my question.
How does the question? What's the question?
Yeah. What's the question?
Yeah, the question is that for the people now to invite those calling Hollywood for joke in the church and be using the word of God.
It is horrible. It is terrible. It is terrible.
Because I'm like, all this our Papa, Oyedepo, even though Redeem, even though our MFM, so something that is not lovely for somebody to be hearing, like you are causing the man of God, you are using the word of God to be these kind of things. I'm like,
it is horrible. It is horrible, sir. It is unbelievable that could happen in the house of God. It is just, I can't believe it that we have descended to this level.
Because when I'm watching all the whole your series, I never see anyone where they are cracking joke, where people was doing all this. Then I'm like, then they say this man, he doesn't know what he's doing. Are we just deceiving ourselves? We are not know what we are doing. Because these are the people we are watching, we are following, that we say, oh, the man of God, oh, this is Papa, and we want to behave like them before, not like 2 years ago now, because I'm not ready to follow nobody, because I'm a lot of confused. Because one thing I hate from the beginning of my life, even though when I was a Muslim, when I was raised in Muslim, is that when people have problem, and you so go to the man of God, I mean white garment churches, and they are saying that go and bring 15,000, 10,000. The person that have problem that come to you,
wow.
If you have 10,000, it will not come to you that you are telling him to go and bring money.
Yes,
so
yes,
thing,
yes.
First of all, that is the greedy in my heart.
Yes.
And when I discovered that I have a call, I say, no, God, if you can't bless me, I'm not doing any work. I can't be able to be asking anybody to solve the problem. This is not a gospel.
Yes.
So the second one is all these politicians, to my own opinion, is they cannot correct them, because these so-called Hollywood people are the one they are using as their own to advertise what they want to sell.
Okay.
But when they wanted to do any food, they cost so much this Hollywood to come and talk to them. So when somebody that help you to pronounce what you want to sell, to market you, I don't think even though they know the answer, when they get there, they can never rise against them.
Yes.
Because it's so horrible now that even though, like one caller said, even though I used to tell my wife, please watch everything the children is watching on the movie because people want to watch television. What kind of thing they will be watching is very, very dirty.
Yes.
And nobody talk. We just think that everything is okay. And I think again in the area of the music, because somebody have said it many years ago, because I always put it in my brain. They say, oh, it's because of too much stress in Nigeria. That's why everybody just like music. to just be hearing music. So that if you paranoid, to just clear the mind that oh, this stress is too much, this one is too much. Please and please, God has been with you. If we are just praying for you, we are just added. God already be with you, because these are the things we don't see, we don't know, and God kept you in one place according to the book of 1 Kings, last verse. When Joseph wanted to go to the war, and they said, oh, go, you come back in peace. But the king himself know that this thing is not well. The country is not going forward. Everything is not working well. And he said, oh, there's one guy here. Remain one guy, but he's a stupid guy. It's a philosophy. He said, go and bring him, Micaiah. But when they twist Micaiah heard what they said. And when the first of us come to the king, he agreed with them. But after the king keep on to press Micaiah said to him, here is the word God said. And after the king hear, it's not the king that slapped Micaiah. It's one of the prophets. So don't let it be new to you when all these men of God rise against you.
Amen.
Because he's the one of the big prophets that slapped. There is the vision pass.
Yes.
Through me and get to you, small boy. So what do you know? You don't know anything.
Yes.
Like what you say in one of the cities that we just had, I think 2 days ago, that the Oyedepo now is using the road. I was living in Obasanjo when I was in Nigeria. I'll always be surprised that road was messed up. And all the road, there's no way you can go on Sunday. And we are doing wow, and when they are going, they're going with the escorts.
Yes.
And in America here, so surprising something. I never had, only 2 times I heard that somebody going with siren. With the escort is maybe when the police is going, or when we have a fire exhibition that they wanted to go and put something, or a dead person.
Yes.
Even though so-called the mayor, it will be in that traffic. So we make him to reason that going through so every day they are discovering a new road, a new tie every day. So may God just help. God already be with you, sir. Keep on what you are doing.
Amen.
God with you already. And the God that started, we finish it.
Amen.
Whether they like or not, it will finish that job. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Grateful. Yeah, for people to be saying that it is because of the problem and hardship in Nigeria, that's why they have to be doing entertainment and living for the lower things of life. So what about, but they are all saying they are Christians, they are all saying they are believers. So what about the scripture that says the joy of the Lord is your strength? So God doesn't have strength again. God doesn't have joy again. God doesn't give joy. God doesn't give peace. God doesn't give, peace of mind. He doesn't give his Holy Spirit. So we are just reducing God and his essence and his power into nothing just because we want to justify vanity that we are engaged in. We have become a society of vanity. Hello?
Hello, Brother Sunday.
Yes, sir. Who is calling, sir?
Yeah, this is Henry Monique.
Yes, how are you, sir? How is your wife?
Yes, she's doing good. How are you doing?
Nice. Well, I am so, like this book that is here, Insulted by Ungodliness. I'm so insulted by all this different ungodliness that has even entered the church self.
Man, I can't stop loving you, man. That's one thing I have to say. And God bless Joseph the Dreamer that just finished saying something. It's very interesting for what you bring out here. Like I always tell you, people don't know what you are doing, but God knows what you are
Yes,
doing.
thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
I've been having dreams about you often, all the time, and it's very impressed and very encouraging when I see you in the dream and you doing what God wants you to do.
Yes.
Okay, but before I say some things I want to say, I want to give you this dream that I had. I just want you to be very encouraged. I know that nothing is really shaking you. You are not, this is not the first time you see people coming against you, but I saw a very heavy accusation that is coming. Very strong one that will even want to make people to believe.
Wow.
But it's a very, so just let that sink in, let that be in you that is coming. Okay, but God is always with you.
Amen.
It's gonna be very internationally, like this accusation.
Wow.
Okay, so Nigeria, we pray for Nigeria all the time, but living outside the country, praying for Nigeria, you can understand that even the people that live in Nigeria still don't know why people outside the country are praying for them. Because if they really know, wow, that these people are really praying for this country, so that means we that are living inside here, we need to change. And look at what you guys are saying. These preachers, I said it last time, if they can become members, things will be very better in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now they are bringing entertainers in the house of God. After the entertaining, they call out money or bring your seed and all that. What do we even receive from these entertainers? Is it joy or what's that? You said it. God is our joy. Presence brings joy. So why do we need this? Because now they're looking into American people or Europeans. Okay, let me just say Americans because we are here in America. All these false preachers, false doctrines, they invite all these comedians in the house of God. So Nigerians are seeing it and they, okay, if Americans are doing it, we can do it. It's killing the body of Christ. It's frustrating the body of Christ, and it's affecting the nation. It's affecting the country. Because Joseph the Dreamer just said something that is very, very simple and plain. All this big daddy and mommy in the Lord. I saw your video last time about they need to stop this daddy and papa crap.
Yes.
That's crap. It's like building up a slave. If they are not communicating with all these governors and all these senators, if they are not entangled with them, each other, who is going to preach to them to repent? Nobody, because they are in the same circle. So this country really needs to be fixed, and to be fixed with somebody like you. What God has shown me in the dream, I trust what God can do from you. People that will know the value of other people. Do you see how you bring your law communicating with everybody? Nobody can do that in Nigeria. No daddy in the Lord will be able to allow people to call in. Like right now, you don't know who is the next person that will call in, how he's going to attack you, how he's going to tell you the truth. Nobody can do that. You put everything on the table. Like if anybody want to call in, nobody is going to interview the caller to know what they're going to say before they're going to say it. Everybody calls in, speak to Sunday.
Yes.
And you make your name simple, Dr. Sunday.
Yes.
Not prophet, apostle, doctor. Is people really testing the fruit? Are you testing the spirit? Or are you believing what your pastor is saying? Dr. Sunday is giving you the scripture. You know, I just believe that I just trust and keep on believing that one day just rise and deal with all this false doctrine that is not even false doctrine anymore. It's all I said. I called them last week. God was saying that witchcraft altar that has generated in the highest level now is now on a platform like everybody's. But there are those witch doctors in the bigger altar now.
Yes.
Back in the day, they have a little shrine that you go to them. But now they have graduated into a big building.
Yes.
People are not seeing that. And you over here screaming and crying just to help people. You are rich and blessed. You're just trying to help the masses, the little ones that can use their one naira to grow. Stop wasting your you have it. It's there. All we need is how to build it.
Yeah.
How to cover it. How to develop in it. I just pray that I don't know. I just don't know. Me and my wife will love you, like we always say. Keep on doing what you're doing. This accusation that will come, Satan will try. The Bible said they will try in one way, but God is going to scatter it in
Amen.
And that's
and he has been doing that regularly.
I just love you guys. I just love you, and
keep on praying for us. Keep on praying for us.
We cannot stop praying for you guys.
Yeah. And help me greet Monique.
I will.
Thank you so very much, sir.
God bless you.
Grateful. Blessings. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your call. I don't know, can we play that video? There's a video I want us to.
Okay, you still have video.
Yeah. This was a personal experience. I tried to take a video of some of these crazy stuff that happened in Nigeria, like right on the street.
While you were there?
Yeah, while I was there.
So you did the video yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sure because of my phone, and it's very rowdy. Let's just have the video. Let's see.
But she didn't remove it, she removed the noise.
I was trying to
disorder.
Can you see how
and you see music, entertainment, that's what they understand.
Yeah. So disorder everywhere. Trying to just look for a place to put my leg. Is it still? Yeah. So look at. I mean, this is Lagos, but this is even so hectic. Like places in that let's say some Mile 12. This is the Ikorodu. I mean, noise everywhere. People are dancing. I think I saw that happen more than 5 times. I mean, when I just went out. So they have these trucks. I think people who are trying to promote some products. So they have the trucks there with DJs, music, and then they have like maybe some 3 or 4 people who are dancing on the streets, just trying to, just entertainment. And then you see people sitting down there looking at people dance. People, I mean, Nigeria. We have a caller already. Okay, let's hear the caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, my name is Hosanna.
All right, Hosanna, where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Nigeria, precisely Edo State.
From Edo, Nigeria. Amazing. We're always excited to have Nigerians call us from Nigeria.
From home.
From home.
You know, no matter how far we are always together.
Yes.
Yes. So I am very excited and in fact, when I was going through one of DSC's message on per 18,
yes,
regarding what he was talking about, how how the church has missed the track and everything, and all that he said. In fact, I was just like, I now saw the reason why. Initially, when I had the call of God, I saw that God was not like, but like that kind of mindset. Like when you have a call, the next thing you think of how to have your own
ministry,
center, your whatever you call it. At some point, I was like, what would be the name of my own ministry and all that? But with time, God was kind of keeping me away from all these dangers. In fact, when I was going through that message today, I really learned a lot. I learned a lot. I'm not surprised that the entertainment has even gone from outside the body of Christ into the body of Christ. Like I was watching the other day, is it Oyedepo or whatever, how they brought an entertainer. He was like making fun and quoting scriptures and all that. I'm not surprised. With all these I've seen, I have come to realize that of a truth, we are the so men of God that are before front. How will I put it? They have actually. I think for God raising somebody like you, just like He took you. Because I also listened to your message, your testimony on how God took you, how you went to Russia also, how you in Ukraine and all that. I saw that God actually kept you for a time like this, and I believe. Hello.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yes, and I believe we others that that are hearing you from all over the world and even within Nigeria, Nigeria and other places. I believe that we ought to put our heart towards this or into this. Like we don't have to say, oh, this is DSA's business or this is our father's business. We have to put in our heart and make sure we get things right the way it ought to go. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. God bless you.
Blessings. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution. Yeah, I think that's the final call, right? To round up today's episode, I would bring back the experience that you had when you were talking about the Nigerian music minister who was doing this music yeah, and I remember when you were addressing it, and of course people were fighting and saying, why are you against music? Is it that we cannot worship God and everything? So I'm hoping that today's episode will give more context to that the reason why you were saying, speaking against our Lord, is because it's still coming back to this whole entertainment thing and still wanting to gratify the flesh and senses and music and all of that. That of course it's not that you're against worship and singing of songs. You do that yourself, I believe. But it's what is the underlying motivation and everything behind it. It's just wanting to motivate and to gratify the flesh and the senses, not living from inside out, but from inside in. So, and all of what we've discussed today anyways, I hope that helps people understand you better and where you're coming from and the worldview that you are speaking from. So that's
just like when I had my bad day 2 years ago.
That you people go mad at you too.
Yeah, I even lost some people from the platform since that time.
Yeah.
Because I said bad day is not just for chilling and partying, and they
dancing.
were rejoicing. They were congratulating DSA, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. People gather in restaurants. They were dancing, and that's what they were doing to congratulate me for my birthday. Dancing in restaurants and doing all those things. So I came out and I told them that no, this is a disgrace. It's not congratulating DSA. That you cannot do anything constructive. Okay, apart from dancing, I don't mind that you dance and something. Yeah. But what is this thing, constructive thing that you have done to congratulate me? Is the only dance you are chilling, eating and dancing? Is that the only congratulation you have? And they said, but that is celebration. Is it not your birthday? They don't understand anything otherwise. So I had to give them example of the people in Abuja on my birthday in Lagos. Yeah. They went to the hospices, and hospitals and attended to people. Mm-hmm. The ones in Lagos went to the children homes. That is birthday celebration. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you can dance.
Yeah.
But just to go and be dancing and getting restaurant and eating, you say there are no more calls.
Yeah, callers. I think that's the final call. Okay. All right. Well, dear viewers, this is Fixing Nigeria. I don't know what you expect. I don't know what your expectations were, but we're addressing Nigeria, and good enough. A lot of people have found that what we're addressing here is not limited to Nigeria. It cuts across board in nations in Africa, and we even had a caller today that said, hey, this is not even just an African nation thing, but this also even comes to the West, addressing the African Americans and all of that. So today we addressed this entertainment culture. Next week we're going to be addressing another vice that is in Nigeria. So do well to join us next week, the same time, 7 p.m. Kiev time, 5 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. Nigerian time on Fixing Nigeria. And all of these books that you've seen on your screen, you could get them free by subscribing to Amazon Kindle Unlimited. You could also order for the books on Okada Books, or you could order for the soft copy or hard copy, from DSA Books Planet, DSABooksPlanet.com. You could also order from our office here at dsasbooks@gmail.com if you want to get the book. DSA's Books.
Books at
gmail.com. Yeah, DSA's, that's DSASbooks@gmail.com if you want to buy the books in bulk. So thank you for being with us at Fixing Nigeria. I'm your host, Anu Ojo. Happy Sunday.
Thank you so much. Peace.